Ball Don't Lie channel. Back in 2012, the U.S. Dream Team was preparing for the London Olympics. Then President Obama walked into the team's locker room, shaking hands with a young boy. He asked the superstar players around him, "Has this kid helped carry your bags?" In the blink of an eye, that 19-year-old rookie has been dominating the NBA for nearly 11 years now. Whether it's his powerful drives to the basket or his mid-range and long-distance shooting, he's been unstoppable. His dominance on both offense and defense has led the media to predict, even before he reached the age of 30, that he is destined to become a legendary player. Although he has suffered from injuries in recent years, and even been criticized by fans for his love of video games, when he finally regains his former prowess, he once again becomes the hope for his team's playoff push, and even their quest for a championship. Number 3 from the Lakers, AnthonyDavis. On March 11, 1993, the top NBA team at the time, led by MJ, the Chicago Bulls, lost a game. They were defeated on the road against the Miami Heat with a score of 95-97. The team's overall record was still good. Even with the loss, the Bulls were at 40 wins and 18 losses, while the Heat, despite winning this game, had a record of only 24 wins and 33 losses. Their chances of making the playoffs were slim to none, but the Bulls were marching confidently toward their third consecutive championship. For AnthonyDavis Sr., this day was special because his wife gave birth to twins for him. Their family of 3 suddenly became a family of 5. With both a son and a daughter, AnthonyDavis Sr. named his son Anthony Davis. Born chubby and plump, the family affectionately called him Fat Man. AD was born on the eve of MJ and the Bulls' three-peat. 3 months later, the Bulls won the 1993 NBA championship. Watching the scene of Jordan holding the trophy on TV, AnthonyDavis Sr. suddenly became convinced that his son would also make a name for himself in the basketball world. Near the Davis family home, there was a park known as a street basketball hotspot. Residents call it Murphy Park. Here, idle young people and ambitious African-American youth who aimed to conquer the basketball world gathered and hung out. Anything you could imagine that cocky young men would do happened here. To prevent his children from going to that area to play, Dad used his carpentry skills and built a makeshift basketball court in the backyard. It was here that AD began his basketball journey. The Davis family lived in the dangerous city of Chicago, in the impoverished and perilous Englewood neighborhood. In the 1990s, according to data released by Chicago, the crime rate here was higher than in surrounding areas. But thanks to his father's protection, AD's upbringing was relatively peaceful. On sunny and pleasant days, the father would lead his children to play basketball in the backyard. During rainy summers and snowy winters, he would take them to the nearby St. Columbanus School's indoor gym to practice. Patiently nurturing his children's athletic abilities, AD's uncle happened to work at St. Columbanus School. He was the director of the sports department. So, as AD grew older, he could take advantage of his uncle's position, and when the athletes took a break, he would step onto the court to shoot some hoops. The rest of the time, he would work in the gym, selling juice and cornflakes to earn some pocket money, or helping his uncle check tickets and keep time. Back then, AD could only perform basic dribbling moves, but his love for basketball was unmatched. However, height was always a problem for AD. His height was quite unremarkable among his peers, and he could only play as a guard, often the least noticeable one on the court. Sometimes he would hear people shout at him, "A basketball dream? More like a pipe dream." These unpleasant memories led AD to harbor considerable hostility towards taller players. In order not to have his self-esteem further hurt, AD practiced day and night to improve his fundamental skills. He believed that even short players would have their day. When it came to high school, AD had the opportunity to go to a better, more distant school for basketball and academics. But his father believed that without his protection, his son would be unsafe wherever he went. So AD dutifully followed his father's wishes and went to Perspective's charter school, which was 11 kilometers away from his home. However, rumors said that the school prioritized academics over sports and had very limited athletic facilities, lacking even a gym. On the first day of school, AD found out the rumors were true. Perspective's charter school not only lacked a complete gym, but also had no one interested in playing basketball and couldn't even put together a basketball team. To some extent, this was quite a blow to AD, who was determined to play basketball. Apart from being close to home, the school indeed had little to offer in terms of sports. AD's teammates, none of them, stayed on the basketball team for a full 4 years. In his sophomore year, the team dwindled from the initial 15 players down to just 6. AD's high school coach, Air, once tried to recruit top-notch players to join Perspective's charter school. However, it was said that the school's academic requirements were too high, which turned away many talented basketball prospects. At this time, AD's height was still under 6 feet 3 inches. His physique was slim and lanky, with average basketball skills. He would often lose one-on-one games to his sister. Obviously, AD was just an ordinary player when he first entered high school. If he couldn't grow taller within 3 years, his basketball career would come to an unremarkable end. AD was quite fearful of this prospect. Coach Air was only a 25-year-old young man at the time, but he displayed the patience a coach should have. He would often encourage AD, "You are a very promising player. Keep going." No matter if the team ended up with 5 players, 7, or 15, Coach Air never considered disbanding the team. Later, he even invited AD's father to observe the team's training so that he could see how his child was being coached. This was the reason AD never transferred away from Perspective's charter school throughout his time there. His father supported him in staying there, and after enduring a challenging freshman year, during the Christmas of his sophomore year, Santa Claus put a gift in AD's gift box. In his junior year, AD's height suddenly surged by 7.9 inches, transforming from a 6 feet 2 inches kid to a 6 feet 10 inches giant. In fact, AD's father was only 6 feet 3 inches tall, and his mother was 6 feet 1 inches. It's just that the height gene manifested a bit late, but fortunately, it was not too late. AnthonyDavis had completely evolved, turning into a basketball beast, averaging a staggering 32 points, 22 rebounds, and 7 blocks per game. Clearly, his level of play had surpassed that of the basketball league at Perspective's charter school. However, due to limited exposure and attention, scouts hadn't noticed this future #1 high school player yet. However, the reality remained harsh. Until the summer of his senior year, AD only received a scholarship invitation from Cleveland University. At 18 years old, AD had already faced the reality that he might not make it to the NBA. He planned to train in the United States for a few years before playing in the Development League or overseas. But in 2010, AD received an invitation to a tournament called the Middle Street Circuit. Even though he knew this competition would bring together scouts from all over the country, AD, who had given up on the NBA, was indifferent and uninterested. His second coach, upon learning this, sternly told him, "Are you crazy? You can make it." Under his coach's insistence, AD accepted the invitation, and from then on, his path was filled with flowers. In the Middle Street Circuit, he used all the skills he had learned in his life, completely dominating both ends of the court. With his incredibly long wingspan, AD was like an octopus, quickly transitioning to a fast break after a series of defensive moves. The guard skills he had trained for years while being shorter, combined with the inside dominance he gained after his growth spurt, turned this uninterested boy into the brightest star on the court. The last player to showcase such terrifying ability in Chicago was high schooler Kevin Garnett. At that time, in a corner of the audience, a person was using a handheld DV camera to capture AnthonyDavis's incredible moments on the court. He was a scout from Chicago named Daniel Bornman. Scout Daniel uploaded AD's footage online and tagged numerous college coaches. This not only caught the attention of scouts nationwide, but also made AD the target of competition among countless college coaches. One could say that the Middle Street Circuit made the rookie AD an overnight sensation, making him popular and confident. But all of this didn't make him forget his original perseverance. AD began to play basketball even harder and more humbly, honing his skills. Although he remained low-key, his surroundings underwent significant changes. Nike provided uniforms for Perspective's charter school's basketball team, and ESPN reporters wanted to cover the team's games. They finally had the funds to repair their gym. In August 2010, AD was invited to participate in the Nike Global Challenge, where he scored 23 points and grabbed 9 rebounds. In the following Jordan Brand Classic, he notched 29 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 blocks, earning the co-MVP award. Later, AD represented the United States at Nike's Hoop Summit, where he recorded an impressive 16 points and 10 rebounds. He had already secured a future #1 draft pick position. Before entering college, AD was selected as a candidate for the nation's best player, one of the Naismith Award candidates, and part of the All-American team. At this point, in terms of exposure and fame, the only person on par with AD was Doc Rivers' son, Austin Rivers. In 2011, AnthonyDavis received an invitation from coach John Calipari and didn't hesitate to put aside the offer from Cleveland. He happily donned the blue jersey of the Kentucky Wildcats. AD's personal PR, win shares, BPM, offensive efficiency, and defensive efficiency all rank first in the NCAA. He averaged 14.2 points, 10.4 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 4.7 blocks per game, setting a difficult-to-break NCAA freshman season record with 186 blocks. It's undeniable that since AD received the gift from above, his basketball journey has been incredibly smooth. That year, the Kentucky Wildcats won the NCAA championship, and AD was voted as the Final Four's MVP. AD also received numerous awards, including the Adolph Rupp Trophy and the Naismith College Player of the Year Award, becoming the first player in the University of Kentucky's history to achieve this honor. Additionally, he became the second freshman player in history to receive this award, following Kevin Durant in 2007. During the 2011-12 season, the Charlotte Bobcats were desperate to acquire AD and were accused of tanking games. Although they didn't admit it publicly, as doing so would result in fines, their record seemed to speak for itself, with only 7 wins and 59 losses. On April 18, 2012, the NCAA college champions, the Kentucky Wildcats, held a nationally televised press conference. The starting 5 and the head coach appeared at the conference. All the starting players announced that they would participate in the 2012 NBA draft. AD, holding the microphone, said, "Playing for Kentucky was a great opportunity. I will miss this team and the days we played together. We achieved a lot here, including winning the NCAA championship." On June 29, 2012, as expected, AnthonyDavis was selected as the first overall pick by the New Orleans Hornets in the NBA draft, becoming the 2012 draft's #1 pick. During the 2012 London Olympics, Kobe Bryant, one of AD's teammates, was impressed by him. The Black Mamba described AD as unique, appreciating his style of play and curiosity about the game. The NBA is different from college leagues, with physical confrontations being a constant theme every night. AD had height, wingspan, and mobility, but his weight was too light. He weighed only 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, when he entered the league, and his slender build worried some fans about his ability to handle physical contact. In his NBA debut, AD performed quite well, but his weaknesses were evident. Additionally, he faced health issues and played only 64 games in his rookie season. People began to question if his body could handle the intensity of the NBA. Just as he proved doubters wrong when he was ridiculed for his height as a child, AD did it again. During the offseason, he focused on training, working hard to become stronger. He practiced heavy deadlifts, squats, bench presses, and leg raises. After a summer of hard work and dedication, his efforts began to pay off. In his sophomore year, AD was no longer afraid of any confrontation. He never dreamed of overnight success. Instead, he played basketball earnestly, believing that what was meant to come would eventually come. And so, honors followed. AD was selected for the 2013 Houston All-Star Rookie Challenge lineup. A year later, he replaced an injured Kobe to participate in the 2014 New Orleans All-Star Game. He then made it to the starting lineup for the 2015 Western Conference All-Stars. Statistically, AD became the youngest player in NBA history to achieve 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocks in a game at 20 years and 242 days old. On January 25, 2013, the Hornets announced that they would change their name to the Pelicans for the 13-14 season. However, the name change didn't help the team turn things around. Despite AD's excellent performance, the Pelicans only managed to secure 34 wins in the 13-14 season. Over the next 3 years, their records were 45, 37-30, 52, and 34-48. In the 14-15 season, they finally made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they faced the rising star Curry and his Warriors, who swept the Pelicans in the first round. During AD's 7 years with the Pelicans, the team's performance remained stagnant. They couldn't make waves in the Western Conference. In those 7 years, AD never had a full season with the Pelicans. His sudden growth spurt made his physical condition less stable than Duncan's consistent performance over the years.
The team never had a season with more than 60 wins, with the best record being 48 wins. In those 7 years, they totaled 251 wins and 323 losses, with a winning percentage of 43.7%. It can be said that both the Pelicans and AD had failed in their pursuit of playoffs and championships. Even when the Pelicans traded for Cousins in his prime, they only made it to the playoffs twice in those 7 years. After turning 25, AD began to understand some of the league's rules, and changing agents seemed to be the start of everything. On September 24, 2018, AD officially teamed up with Rich Paul. Less than a year into their partnership, in early April 2019, during a regular season game against the Hornets, dressed in a suit, AD was walking back to the locker room when he heard a harsh insult from an old Pelicans fan. AD was infuriated. In anger, he raised his middle finger toward the fan, signaling the end of his not-so-glorious career with the Pelicans. AD had already stated that he wouldn't renew his contract with the team, and tensions had been high between both parties. The team most interested in AnthonyDavis was undoubtedly the Lakers. However, they seemed too eager. Their mid-season plan to trade for AD fell through, exposing the Lakers' internal conflicts to the media. Except for LeBron, almost all the young players on the team felt threatened and lost their fighting spirit. The Lakers had a disappointing record of 37 wins and 45 losses. With the help of his agent on June 16, 2019, a trade centered around AnthonyDavis finally happened. The Lakers traded 3 of their 4 promising young players for AD, namely Lonzo Ball, Ingram, and Hart. They also sent 3 first-round picks to the Pelicans. Ultimately, the Lakers formed a powerful duo with LeBron and AD. LeBron was excited and even offered to give up his number 23 jersey, making it clear that AD would be the top player. In return, AD graciously gave up $4 million in trade bonuses. The 2019-20 NBA season was more complex, with various star duos forming. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George teamed up in the Clippers. Westbrook and Harden reunited in the Rockets. Irving and KD enjoyed playing together in the Nets. Teams like the Warriors, Raptors, and Bucks remained strong, and the NBA returned to the balanced competition where any team could potentially win the championship. For the Lakers, they had 27-year-old AD and 35-year-old LeBron as their core, along with veteran players like Rondo, Danny Green, and Howard providing support. Young players like Kuzma and Caruso offer rotation options. During the difficult times of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Lakers pushed forward, achieving a 49-14 record before the bubble resumed. Under the leadership of LeBron and AD, the Lakers demonstrated their absolute strength. During the playoffs, their opponents seemed to have little resistance. The Lakers won the first and second rounds with a 4-1 score, defeating the Trail Blazers and the Rockets. In the Western Conference Finals, they took down the inexperienced Nuggets 4-1 as well, with AD's memorable game-winning three-pointer. In the finals, they faced the Miami Heat, who had broken through the Eastern Conference. However, whether due to luck or strength, the Heat ultimately fell short, and the Lakers won the championship 4-2. This victory marked the Lakers' 17th championship, tying the Boston Celtics for the most championships in NBA history. This championship also proved how right AD's decision to leave the Pelicans was. Although the Pelicans were hurt by his departure, their unimpressive 7 years confirmed the difficulties of pursuing a championship in a small market, especially when the owner is unwilling to pay the luxury tax. After the championship fervor passed, the 2020-21 season saw AD struggling with injuries, playing only 36 games in the regular season. Due to the team's overall trades and adjustments, their record wasn't dazzling, finishing 42-30. They faced the first-seeded Suns in the playoffs, but the Lakers seemed lost. Kuzma lost his touch, AD's shooting percentage was only 40.3%, and along with LeBron, only 3 players on the team had double-digit average points. With such a performance, the Lakers were eliminated by the Suns 4-2. AD's notable regular season stats were 21.8 points, 7.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 1.64 blocks per game. On May 10th, in a game against the Suns, he scored a season-high 42 points, along with 12 rebounds and 5 assists, leading the Lakers to victory. However, there was no more success for the Lakers after that. On February 17th of the 2021-22 season, the Lakers faced the Jazz. The team had lost 2 games in a row and hoped to defeat their opponents to boost morale. However, AD injured his foot, sidelining him for a month. The Lakers struggled, finishing the season with a 33-49 record. In the 2022-23 season, LeBron was chasing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. However, the Lakers' early season losing streak caused frustration among fans worldwide. Westbrook lost his form, and the team fell into a difficult situation. They started the season with 5 consecutive losses, followed by 2 victories and another losing streak. Current head coach Darvin Ham faced immense pressure, but remained tight-lipped about the situation. To escape their predicament, the Lakers considered trading Westbrook, who was eventually moved to the bench. The team's performance started to slowly improve, but AD found himself once again dealing with injuries. When the Lakers acquired AD, they knew he wasn't a full-time all-star since his arrival in the league. This season, AD appeared to be ready to take over LeBron's mantle, but injuries remained his biggest obstacle. Just as he was recovering from a month-long rest, his absence became indefinite. The Lakers' win rate remained far from 50% during the mid-season, but things began to slowly improve after LeBron became the all-time scoring leader. After trading Westbrook, the Lakers welcomed Rui Hachimura, Jard Vanderbilt, D'Angelo Russell, and Malik Beasley. The team's height in the front court and outside shooting was significantly strengthened, making the trade a much-needed boost for the Lakers. The areas they previously lacked were now reinforced. The Lakers' ranking soared, and their defensive efficiency even ranked among the top in the league, occasionally reaching first place. Lakers fans were thrilled to see AD return to his dominant form after recovering from his injury. His versatile offensive skills and solid defense made him the Lakers' most reliable core player. Notably, against opponents with Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns, whose combined contracts are worth nearly $400 million, AD was not restricted at all and managed to overpower them. How far the Lakers can go in the playoffs largely depends on AD's health and whether he can successfully take the torch from LeBron, giving Lakers fans championship hopes not just for this season, but for the future as well. We hope AD can showcase his talent and stay away from injuries, as an athlete of his caliber shouldn't be held back by pain. His talent belongs on the basketball court, contributing to victories. We wish them the best of luck. Number 3 from the LA Lakers, Anthony Davis.